Hi everyone, welcome back to Canary Cast. Me and
Who's
Jacob are
this?
back.
Who is
Yes,
this?
I'm back. I had one weekend off. I'm sorry. But Harvey, thanks for filling in. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing all right. I got quite used to the job in the end. It was.
Yeah,
I don't.
How's your back
dragging the
feeling,
views in.
Harvey?
Oh,
Is your back feeling tired, heavy?
well, I've been carrying the team so much. It's really sore. So, but
Can't
yeah,
go
I'm
away
doing
for
fine.
one
I'm doing
weekend.
fine.
Not even the season.
No,
No.
it's prime
No
time,
rest.
mate. You know, we get views without you, so you need to remember your place now.
Yeah. There's no
Right,
we
I'm back
can
in
do
my
this
box.
without you.
Yeah. Anyway, we should discuss the latest transfer rumours. We're going to cover Jordan Hugill, and then we're going to talk about some of the players we think are going to leave because that has got to happen at some point with all the new signings. Jacob, I think it's fair to say this one's divided opinion amongst Canary Cast. You seem to be quite in favour of it. I'm not so much for reasons I'll explain later, but the price seems to be anywhere between sort of 2 and 5 million. I've seen quoted. What's your initial reaction to it?
Well, when I first saw the rumours of 5 million, I was like, nah, see you later. Can't be bothered with that. That's no point. But then kind of looking into it more and having some good conversations actually with people on Twitter. You can follow us at Cast Canary, by the way, if you want to join those kind of conversations. Good little plug. Kind of looking at it and seeing 2-3 million. He is a plan B, a decent option for me now. I kind of look at it and say, yeah, he's a decent sign. And for 2-3 million, and if he takes a little bit of a wage cut from his reported 35k a week.
Okay. Before we go any further, I'll just run through his last few seasons. If we go back to 16-17, he had a very decent season for Preston in the Champ, scored 12 goals. Following season, he then scores 8 league goals in the first half of the season. So West Ham snapped him up for 10 million. He's only played 3 games for West Ham. He hasn't started any of them. So 18-19, he goes out on loan to Middlesbrough, 37 games, 6 goals. And then last season, he spent on loan at QPR, where he made 39 appearances, scoring 13 goals. That is not a huge amount of goals, Jacob.
You're just trying to back me up here to fail, aren't you? So
Yeah.
let me try and mould it into why he would be a good signing. So I saw a Norwich fan earlier saying, now this is not to say he's the same quality, but like a Giroud. So he is in the team to kind of help us build up the play, and he is a good plan B. I think it kind of shows that this year we're not going to be as intricate as try and eye through the needle, through balls has to be perfect. I think this lad does thrive on crosses, and obviously with our new signings, Plaheta, Senani, with Hernandez already, I think it's going to be a lot more direct for us in terms of getting it to the wings and just running down the wing. Same with our new left back, who's Quintia. Very good at attacking, very good at a cross. I think that Hugill is good in the air, which will help us defensively from corners and attack wise. And but then again, to say he's all good at just crosses, QPR play a very similar way to us under Mark Warburton. Create a hell of a lot of chances. They're just worse at defending than us. But on the flip side, which is why I'm still kind of 80-20, he did score 15 goals in all competitions last year. He should have had about 25.
I think you're right. He would be a focal point of the attack with his size. That's fair enough. Are we all of the assumption that he'll be coming in as a backup striker? Harvey, I'll come to you.
I'm not so sure, to be honest. It would be interesting for him to come in as a backup because this is like the biggest amount Norwich have spent in like the last 5 years. It feels like. So it would be quite odd for them to go down to the Championship, spend let's say £5 million on a player for him to then, battle with Pookie. It would be probably, in my opinion, it's probably more likely that they've received a bit of interest in Pookie. I don't know if that coincides with how his form's going, but he's a perfectly competent Championship striker. He's got a respectable amount of goals at the level. Would he be as inspiring as a Pookie? Who's to say? But he's strong, he's taller than a lot of the players, and he gives Norwich a lot of well-needed height because that was an issue that has come up in the last couple of seasons. So I don't know. He could be a first choice striker. I'm not so sure.
Fair point. Jacob, you see him as first choice or backup?
No, I can't see him as first choice. If he is first choice, I just need to realign my plans for this season. What we're going to do with Canary Cast, because I can't. Whilst I like him as a backup and think he's great value for a backup, good kind of option off the bench, like a Jordan Rhodes. If he's replacing Timu Pukki, no, I can't. Timu Pukki is going to be number one choice. Then I think Hugill can definitely help Adam Eder if he stays at the club. To kind of the dark arts of Championship football, and because let's be honest, Norwich are too much of a nice team to play at times, and Jordan Hugill's a horrible player to play against. No centre back's going to enjoy playing against him. I think Norwich need that. I think that's what he can offer the team, but no, not as first choice.
I mean, he's been first choice striker for Borough in 18-19 and QPR in 19-20. He's played 39 games for QPR and 37 games for Borough. He only scored 13 goals for QPR and only 6 for Borough. If he's making that many appearances and only scoring that many goals, he cannot come in and be a first choice striker. Surely he has to be backup. If that is the case, sorry, Harvey, go on.
Well, the other thing is that both times for Middlesbrough and QPR, he has pretty much played with another striker. So when he was at Middlesbrough, he played alongside Britta Sombalonga, who is a very good striker, and then in QPR he played alongside, is it McClar or something like that, and he was another
Slovenian geezer,
yeah, he was another loanee, and I think both those times they outscored Hugill. Yeah. So it might be a case that they want to play a 2 up top system and then have Adam Eder as the sort of backup striker just in case, and if they, God forbid, the injury crisis rears its ugly head again, then they'll just switch back to a 1 up top system.
On that note, if he is playing as a secondary striker, sort of as a target man to set the other 2 up, then if his numbers are lower because of that, then fine. But if we're looking for someone to do that, why not just keep Josip Drmic, or even, I am stretching a bit here, but even Carlton Morris. Like, he's not. Jordan Hugill is not going to add that much for the money that we'd have to spend on him, in my opinion. Jacob?
I tell you what he does have, mate. For 2-3 million, this is what I'm going with, yeah. So 3.5, absolute max. Josip Drmic, we have said, offered absolutely nothing after lockdown, and that's in terms of commitment. His output in terms of the pitch, okay, sometimes you can say he's isolated, but he did not put in any effort for me after lockdown. And Jordan Hugill, to be fair to him, no matter what else he does, he'll give 110%. Blood, sweat, tears, all that. I know that's expected from players, but he will burn himself out every single game, chasing lost balls. If he's starting, coming off the bench, there's no doubt in my mind about that. He will give 100% commitment. And to be fair, that alone, I think, displaces the Drmic thing. Carlton Morris hasn't even scored double figures in League One, so again, I'm going to bat him away for you before you try and tease me with that. So I think he just adds good Championship experience. The only thing I don't like about him, and we've said this before, is Harvey put it perfectly. He's a competent Championship striker. I know we're in the Championship. I know we need to know our place, but I'm not a fan of buying players who are good to the Championship. That's his level. He's 28 now. He's at his peak for me. I don't think he's going to massively improve. I don't think he does the job in the Premier League. I've said it on Twitter a few times and people will know what I'm saying. Cameron Jerome strikes me as a Cameron Jerome. And if we were to go up, I don't know if he is at the level to really kind of push on and get 10, 15 Premier League goals. To be fair, Timu Pukki got double figures. I don't think Hugill's at that level. But for the Championship, he will do a job.
I agree. I mean, personally, it's too much money. His wages will be a bit of a stumbling block if he's not willing to come down. But my main gripe with it is it has the potential to stagnate Adam Eder's development. Now, for my money, I can't see why Adam Eder is not just the backup striker this season. I think that's a great chance for him. He will get minutes eventually, and if he takes them, then he'll do well, won't he? Because supposedly, if we get Hugill in and maybe Eder goes out on loan, he goes down to League One and he's not playing at such a high level where potentially could have an impact anyway. Harvey?
The only concern would be that I think Drmic's time at the club is pretty much over. His head is gone. So if he comes in and Pukki stays, then he is backup striker, especially if they play a 2 up system, which he's used to. So he would be there in that role. The only difference would be is that if they either have Pukki or Hugill, it'll be then he slips to 3rd place and then it becomes a concern. But from everything I've seen of all the signings so far, it looks like Varka's going to change his system up a little bit to more of a, I don't want to say negative style, but he looks like he's going back to a traditional style. I think is probably the correct.
I'm going to say it's a bit more physical. Suits the championship a little bit more. Because like I love what Stuart Hodge said when he was on our podcast, which you can go watch after this video. Is that when we went up the first time in the championship, we didn't play physical. We were just so on another level. We outplayed the championship basically, which is an incredible rarity. And if you get Emi Buendia, Godfrey, Aarons, Lewis all gone, potentially might not happen, but we're likely, we'll talk about it later, but probably will. I don't think you can do that this year. I think you've got to have a bit of that. We know it's a slog, and I think you've got to have players that are used to that slog, like Kieran Dow, like Ollie Skip, who has seen the championship. He knows the league a lot better than the foreign players coming in. And like Jordan Hugill, I think they'll be a lot more used to it and hit the ground a lot quicker.
And what do you make of it potentially stagnating Ida's development?
Well, like I said to you earlier on Skype, which you thought I was joking, I'm really not. I think they do see him as a slight option on the wing. I think he can be used there, and I can see that as a potential. Because look at Onel Hernandez, how many injuries does he get a season? If you're going to go with that direct style of play, he can do a job on the wing. And again, like Harvey said, I think Daniel Farke, it might not always be too up front, but he is looking at potentially tweaking the system because it can't just be consistent one way. We didn't have a plan B last season. I think Ida could potentially be that plan B if Hugill and Pukki stay. Or you've got three excellent strikers. And to me, this gives Teemu Pukki the chance to really give him a bit of a push, like Tim Krul was last season when we got Ralph Fairman in. It gives him that push and hopefully kind of gets him back to that level because in the last, 2 seasons, he hasn't had suitable enough competition for me. Hugill might not be, but Hugill and Ida together pushing on in both different ways, kind of offering different things, would definitely, in my opinion, give Teemu Pukki a kick up the arse and be like, right, you need to, again, earn your place because you're not guaranteed it.
Fair point. Okay, so last word on Jordan Hugill even. Do we want to see it happen? Are you confident that it will happen? I'll go to Harvey first.
He's probably a good signing. However, the money is just ridiculous. So I don't see it happening.
Jacob?
For 3.5 million absolute max, hopefully a little bit less, then good value for me for a backup. Will it happen? Yeah, I do think so. I think they're in advanced talks. I think the wages won't be too much of a problem. The only thing for me is how do they kind of sell it to him in terms of, like you said, Joe, he's played a lot in the last couple of years. How do you play that with him? But in Stuart Webber and Daniel Farke, I completely trust them. So I think it will happen, and I think they'll hopefully, I think they will get the best out of him.
I don't fancy it much myself. I've got to be honest. Yeah, he could probably play back up to Pukki and grab maybe like 9 or 10 goals, but I'm pretty sure Ida could do that as well. I'm pretty sure Drummich could do it as well, to be honest. It feels a bit like wasted money. The other thing is I can't see him growing into a Premier League player. And for a team who's just been relegated and looking to be in the top 6 this season, I don't think it's worthwhile. Maybe Stuart Webber fancies Daniel Farke to develop him further, but at 28, okay, I suppose he developed Pukki further at 28, but there you go. I don't fancy him much myself. Anyway, lads, we need to talk about outgoing players because that is going to have to happen at some point now. The sort of young stars, Godfrey, Lewis, Aarons, Cantwell, Buendia, we can assume teams are interested, blah, blah. A lot of talk has been given to them over the past few months, so we won't talk about them as much. But I'm talking about players sort of nearing the end of their contracts or that haven't been in the team. So the first 2 names I'm going to throw up to you, because they're both in the last year of their contract, Michael McGovern and Alex Tete. Are they going to be part of the squad this season? Are they going to retire at the end of the season? What are your expectations?
Michael McGovern, 36 now? I think he's just enjoying the pension life, isn't he, really? I would be very surprised if he's backup keeper and you let a third choice be one of the youngsters. But at the minute it looks that way. It's difficult to sell anything to a footballer and be like, you will be second choice, because Tim Krul obviously deserves to be first choice this season. But if Mickey McGovern, will he stay, will he go? You could see him getting another 1-year deal, couldn't you? If he fancies it, I think that's up to him.
I think he's doing his badges, isn't he?
Yeah. So I can see, but then next season, it depends on where we are. I could see him being third choice again. he's a comfortable pair of hands, isn't he? Like, you don't want him to play, but he does give good experience. He's been at the Euros. We all remember that famous Germany game where he basically was in Wonder Man. And Alex Tete, I think this will be 100% his last season, and I think he'll retire after that. I don't think the knees can take it anymore.
Yeah. Paddy Davitt seems to, or reported a few weeks ago that Tribal, Leitner, and Drummich have been told they can go elsewhere. I haven't really heard a lot of movement on that front. Harvey, are you expecting any of them to be in the squad come the start of the season?
No, not a chance. In fact, I'd be incredibly surprised if any of those are even near the squad. And to be fair, a lot of the core of the championship winning team is looking like it's gone. The only exception being like Krul, who may not stay as well because obviously he's been called up for the Holland squad. So, he's not. I don't think he's a guaranteed certainty. But I can't see any of them,
Don't
especially
say that, Harvey.
I'm just being honest, because he'd be a very good emergency pickup for a Premier League side, because he can step into those roles. He could be first choice for a lot of the teams in the lower half of the Premier League, because his stats show that he's more than competent at that level. So could we see a situation? I know we've just moved on from it, where McGovern is first choice Norwich keeper. I'm not ruling it out. So, but Dermich, I think he might be just a toxic atmosphere that they need to get rid of now. That could be a cancellation of contract, in order to get rid of him, because he's not worth the money.
Okay. Jacob, talk to me about Mario Vrancic, because he's in his last year of his contract. Fair to say he can do a bit of a job in the Championship and was brilliant towards the end of the Championship winning season. Can you see him being here?
My bias for Mario is not really fair for an opinion, because I love him more than any other Norwich player. I know he can't run, I know he can't defend, I know he's not very good in the air for his size, and I know he's not very strong. But the through balls, man, the free kicks, the set pieces, I just absolutely love him. I'll never forget Stoke away when I was behind the goal. He played the most sumptuous through ball to Timo Pukki. No one else in the squad can play that pass. Sheffield Wednesday at home, Leeds away, all of these. He's an incredible player, but I think he's going to be very, very bit part, probably even less than last season, and probably see his contract run out. In terms of Dermich and Tribal, I think Sorensen has taken number 20, and 19 has been taken as well. Can't remember off the top of my head who, but it's on the training pictures from earlier. So yeah, number 19 and 20 have gone. We know Anna Tribal's currently in Germany, very, very pregnant. So that's why Tribal wasn't in the photos today. But they're trying to shift them. I think the only reason it hasn't happened yet is because clubs aren't that interested. I think Norwich are going to have to do quite a lot of pushing and maybe a bit of we'll give you a bit of the wage for the continuation of another club's contract for me. But yeah, they will all be gone, I'd imagine, very soon.
I imagine there might be a lot of loan movement, would be my other note.
Yeah.
A lot of people will leave, but they won't leave permanently because there's just no buyers. So, and I think Dermich might be one of those things where...
Agreed. Okay, one more name I want to discuss, lads. Marco Stiepermann. He's not out of contract in a year's time. He's got 2 years left. He's 2022. But we didn't really see him step up to the plate in the Premier League, and I'm wondering whether that's enough to see some movement this summer. What do you think?
Well, he's got competition, hasn't he? Kieran Dowell, obviously, is a number 10. Danel Sinani, I've watched him multiple times. I think he's going to win the Ballon d'Or, but I have no idea where he's going to play. He's reported to be a striker. He could be a cam. I've watched clips enough to see that he could play either. So again, there could be an option there. For me, I think you've got to keep Marco. Again, he adds that height. He adds a weird kind of I don't know how he plays football, but he does. He's got a good frame. In a team that dominates the ball, he was the fulcrum, the main focal point of our team, let's be honest, in the Championship. And for me, I think he can more than capably do it again. I think Dow will be first choice. From what I've watched of Kieran Dow over his career, he flitters in and out. So I'd be very surprised if he's consistent over the whole 46 games, very high levels. So I imagine Marco will get a chance, fingers crossed, and will deliver in this division.
Yeah, I would like to keep him about. I just wondered whether we would see some movement. But anyway, I think we've covered about it, gents. I think there's anything else to mention. Jacob, anything else going on socials this week? We've obviously got the fixtures Friday.
Yeah, mate. So Friday we've got a special guest coming on for our video, which will be really exciting. We won't reveal who that is, but hopefully a couple of you will know him. It was not a Norwich kind of based journalist or anyone like that, someone completely different. It'll be really fun to kind of have someone new onto the channel and give us more of a broad championship kind of knowledge and what to expect from each team this season. So yeah, really excited for that one.
Yeah, it should be a perfect little matchup, that guest. It should be really good. Anyway, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, because I'll get told off if you don't. And enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. We'll be back soon, etc., etc. Cheers for watching. Bye.
See you later.
Later on.